Hey guys, I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at and installing the 2-inch rear lift blocks with the included U-bolts fitting all 2011 through 2024 F-250s. Now you guys should be checking out the blocks that we have here today if you're looking to add a little bit more rear end height to a level or small lift kit using the tried and true method of a rear block, and more importantly, something that is not going to break the bank in the process. So the big feature here is again that 2 inches of lift for the rear of your Super Duty thanks to the new lift blocks and included hardware and the U-bolts here. Now, why would you want to add something like this to the rear of your Super Duty? Well, like I mentioned in the very first block here, guys, maybe you've already added a level or a lift kit and you find the ride height just really isn't where you want it in the rear. Maybe you're a little nose high and you want to bring that rear end up, or maybe you get a lot of squat while hauling or towing. Whatever the case, these will certainly be a great way to bring that rear end up ever so slightly, give you a little bit more rake, and ultimately help keep that rear end up a bit more while towing. Moving into construction, and these rear blocks have been well designed and produced using a very heavy gauge steel plate and then finished in a satin black powder coat to prevent any corrosion over time and to keep things looking good. Now the blocks are obviously preset to deliver that 2 inches of rear lift right out of the box without any sagging or settling. Now the included hardware, as you guys can see here, has also been given that black treatment for a more stealthy look and will also help prevent corrosion as well on the U-bolts and the included nuts. Price point for the rear blocks will certainly be another feature in my opinion, as the mid to high $100 price point for everything on the table here today does make these one of the more affordable ways on the site to raise the rear end of your Super Duty, especially when you start comparing these to some other options on the site from companies like ReadyLift. But now let's switch gears and get into the installation, and the site's going to call this a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, about 3 hours to complete at absolute most from start to finish. But now to give you a better idea of how this one might go down in the garage or driveway at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need air and electric impacts, 18 and 24 millimeter sockets, a 21 millimeter wrench, and also not shown here is a couple of pole jacks or jack and jack stands. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some lift blocks on our F-250, so let's get started. Alrighty guys, so now we've got the truck in the air and we've got the wheels off and we've got some pole jacks underneath our differential to support it. That is very crucial. And we're going to go ahead and remove the bottom shock mounting bolts first. You don't need to fully remove the shock, just the bottom bolts. So we've got our 18 mil socket on our impact and a 21 millimeter wrench for our nut. We'll go ahead and pop these off. You want to go ahead and remove this bolt so that your shock can swing free and get that out of the way. We'll do the same thing for the other one. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the mounting nuts for the U-bolts. So we'll go ahead and grab our 24 millimeter socket on our impact to do that. Now you want to loosen these in kind of rotating order to keep the pressure even on the differential. Once you have that out, you can go ahead and remove the cradle. Then you can go ahead and remove your factory U-bolts. And once we have this out, we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. So now we'll go ahead and lower our pole jack so we can get the clearance we need between our differential and block. Now we've also got a third pole jack here under our yoke for our drive shaft and differential, just to help maintain our drive shaft angle. You want your larger end of your taper on your block to be facing towards the rear of the truck. We can go ahead and place that back into position. We'll raise this back up. Now we're gonna get it close to where it needs to go, lining up with the dowel on our leaf spring. Then we're gonna install our U-bolts and cradle loosely, just to have that protection and safety cage. Now we can go ahead and install our new provided U-bolts. They're gonna go in factory position, like so. And we can go ahead and reinstall our factory cradle. Get our U-bolts through that. Sometimes you have to squeeze them a little bit to get them to go in. Once we get one side started, we'll go ahead and add in our provided flat washer and nuts. We'll get one on this side that'll help hold it, and we'll get the front U-bolt in. We'll go ahead and get another washer and nut on this side. We'll get the other two on. Now we're going to run these nuts up just a little bit. We're not going to fully tighten them yet until we get the other side done. So we'll grab our 24 mil socket again on our impact, and you want to again alternate your sides on where you're tightening these to keep the pressure even on the cradle. Now that we have this in a good spot, we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other side, and we'll come back and tighten everything down all at once. So once you have both sides loosely on, we can go ahead and tighten up our U-bolts. So we'll go ahead and again grab our 24 mil socket on our impact, and we'll alternate sides and tighten these up fully. Once you have this side tight, you can go ahead and do the same thing for the other side, then we'll reattach our shock. So now we'll go ahead and get our shock back to its lower mounting point. Now it does extend a bit once you have it out, but luckily these are pretty soft in the factory, so we can kind of just push it back up into position. We'll go a little bit past the mounting hole, get our bolt here, reinstall that, get our nut back on, and we'll tighten this down. And we can again use our 18 millimeter socket on our impact and our 21 millimeter wrench to tighten this down. Then you can go ahead and repeat this same process for the other side. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our 2-inch rear lift blocks for your 11 to current 4-wheel drive F-250 Super Duty. Thanks for watching. As always, for everything F-250, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.